Well, we're back on the boat, and we put the groceries away, and we're just relaxing down below, and all of a sudden we hear this beep, beep, beep alongside us, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I come outside, and there's a Guadia Civil boat, the state police, and a what I would call a crab cop boat, a Macedonia enforcement boat. And you know what? I have said on this channel before, and I'm well aware that the Balearic Islands in particular have a special endangered seagrass, and it's what they attribute to the water being so clean. And they're very protective of it, and I know you can't anchor on it. Having said that, when I came in the other day, it was windy and blowing. You couldn't see at the bottom. So what I did was I looked for where all the other boats were anchored, thinking that they might have anchored when they could see the bottom, and it was fine. Plus, we were very deep. I don't know that I could see the bottom anyway. So we anchored there, and we were fine, and then the wind stopped blowing, and even with the wind out, not blowing, you can't really see much. I mean, the water's crystal clear, but we're in like 40 feet of water, so you can't really see what you're anchored on. Anyway, it turns out that they wanted to speak to the captain, and they asked if I spoke Spanish, and I said, well, Crisalita speaks better than I do, and they're like, no, they don't want to speak to them, they want to speak to the captain. So they wanted to speak to me, and this is like going to be a big deal, and they says, you are breaking the law right now, and because of that, the Guadia Civil is going to do an inspection on your boat. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, come on board. I feel awful, I don't want to be that guy, and I felt, I don't want to be anchored in the Macedonia, I don't want to cause any problems. So anyway, so the Guadia Civil came along, we took a line from them, and I obviously wanted to film it, but I probably thought probably anyway, that probably wasn't what they wanted me to do. So I didn't film any of that. But they went through the documents of the boat, the insurance, the registration, and they asked for my license, which I was surprised about. I had heard about that before. No one has ever asked to see my license here before, so I gave them that, and they got done with their stuff, and then they said they wrote everything up, and they were very polite, very cool. And they said, yeah, because you're not, it says, we have to write this report because you're in here. We're going to send it in. It says, because you're not a Spanish citizen, it's probably not going to do anything. I imagine if they got 3 or 4 of these reports where I continued to break the law, they'd probably do something. But he goes, I'm sure you're going to be fine. You won't have to pay anything or anything like that. Which I'm glad about, because I've read horror stories of that they're really super protective, that you pay a lot of money if you anchor in the grass. And even if you drop your anchor in the good spot, well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So while all that happened, they were cool. Took probably 20 minutes of them going through the paperwork, and very respectful, very nice, not pushy or anything like that. But they were really doing the bidding of the guy that was enforcing the grass stuff, what I would call a crab cop. Anyway, they finally left, and they said, look, you're going to have to deal with him. And I said, all right. So they left, and they were cool. And he said, you need, he understood that, I couldn't see what I was anchoring on. But he understood that, but he suggested that I use an app. And if any of you seen this, even in the future, if you're going to be over here and you want to know the name of the app, it's I don't know if I can put a link in the description or not. I'll try, but you can message me anyway, or you can always contact me at timbatsc@gmail.com. And I will send you a link to the app. But the app's really cool. It basically shows, it's got all the seagrass mapped out. So if you're in green, you got to get out. If you're in blue, you're fine. And he's like, yeah, all you got to do is lift up your anchor and go back a little ways and you'll be fine. So I was like, okay. So we don't really see a whole lot of difference over here, but looks different on the chart, and I guess we're in compliance, and I didn't have to pay any money yet anyway. So it was pretty cool. I like that they are protecting their environment. Like I say, I certainly don't want to do any damage to it. The water is impeccably clean here, and if the seagrass is what does that, then I don't want to be the guy that tore it up. And anything I can do to make sure that I don't mess up again, I'm all in favor of. And it was nice to see that although they were bureaucrats and there was paperwork that had to be done and all that, they were very understanding and they were not hostile at all. And it was, all in all, it wasn't a bad thing. I was like, oh my God, I mean, this could be in the tens of thousands of dollars for a fine. And anyway, I didn't get fined, so that's good, but it's also good that they didn't even tell me to leave. They're just like, no, just back up a little bit, you'll be fine over there. And then the things they wanted me to remember was that dropping your anchor in sand is good. We said, but the real damage is done with your chain, and that if you put your anchor in sand and you run out 100 feet of chain in sand, and the wind changes, it goes over, and you're going to wipe out 100-foot swath of seagrass, and so that's what they're trying to avoid. And I completely understand that, and I get that, and really grateful to the Spanish people for being cool about it. Anyway, thought I'd let you know this is our first brush with the authorities that we had. And, luckily, they were cool. You guys take care. Be safe. As always, I'll see you on the one.